Testing, testing. I swear it always happens. But hello. Well, hello. What is up? Yeah, that's what I was looking at, the Dave Portnoy stuff. The dude is getting charged for throwing pennies at Dave Portnoy, apparently. Out in public, they're saying it's a violation of free speech. Hello. He is hyper fixated. Dude, listen, I don't know what you were talking about this yesterday. Parrish, you can go to my Discord and talk about it. Go to my Discord and talk about it. But talking about there's no reason to talk about it here. But I don't even know what that is, honestly. You can go to my Discord though. Did I see the Erica Kirk kiss? Yeah, I did see it. Well, I saw Trump like kiss her on the cheek. If that's what you're talking about. You failed No Nut November. I'm not surprised. Yeah, this Ben Shapiro clip is going viral. I don't know, what is Ben Shapiro saying? Leave the country or just leave the city? It's a very strange clip.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities.
Yeah, the hat does get bigger. It does. It's like a power level thing. It keeps getting slightly bigger over time. What Trump interview is everyone talking about? I don't think he did an interview. I think it might have been clips. Maybe it's this interview. Yeah, it's this interview.
We should not have had people leaving their jobs. And what I basically did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace. There.
Trump promises he's going to give $10,000 bonus checks to people that worked during the Democratic shutdown. That would be nice.
Another one thing with gold.
Why not
You
silver?
you can't imitate gold, real gold. There's no paint that imitates
So
gold.
these aren't like from Home Depot or something?
No, this is not Home Depot.
It's a lot of
No,
gold.
not stuff you buy.
This is not Home Depot.
This is not Home Depot. Yeah, it's custom made, I'm sure. A leftist named August on YouTube is paying people for my address. You're joking. That's a weird situation. That seems like an obsession if that's true. Someone is paying to dox me.
This Crockett, this is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police, they don't have military, they don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution. The whole thing is crazy. I feel.
Well, you know, some liberal lady kissed Jasmine Crockett's shoes, just like the white women. It's like the white people, they have to apologize. So they kissed their shoes. of the African Americans. And so that happened. Did you see that clip going around? Do you think Ben Shapiro maxes out his yarmulke? I don't know. There's no you can't really make it any larger than it is at this point. It's going to become a top hat. It is a large yarmulke. I mean, it is. There's no denying it. You should make a video on Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. You want him fired? He's probably the scapegoat, man. But they're not likely to fire him during the season. It just shows instability, and it shows that your organization is just a dumpster fire. So I don't think they're going to fire him during the season. I mean, the expectations are really low for the Browns anyways. Most people want them to lose because it's a better draft pick situation in the offseason. Like, if they win 4 or 6 games, is it really that big of a difference? They're a mess. Did you see the liberals say we did the shutdown just because we hate the right wing? Well, it makes sense. I mean, they just want to combat Trump in any way possible, and the liberal citizens want it as well. So if they shut it down, they're going to be happy. If they open it up, they're going to say it's appeasement to Trump, so they're not going to be happy. But I think enough of them came to their senses with the SNAP being cut off and the air traffic controllers and the flights being canceled. They came to their senses. They said we got to open it up. So they're opening it, I think, on Thursday or Friday, apparently, when the representatives in the House get back and they can vote on it. Yeah, I mean, listen, I would actually film that. It'd be very weird if people came to my house. I think it'd be awkward, honestly. It'd just be like, bro, I mean, what are you doing? It'd be a strange sight. I'd have to film it or something. I don't know. Amazing when senators were first forced to work a single week and they came to their senses. Yeah, and I mean, it's just like, but I think a lot of it is it was 40 days, and so they're running out of money. There's slush funds with a lot of these government programs, and at a certain point they run out. They can manage a certain amount of time, 30 days, whatever it is. But then they needed more money. They wanted to fund it they wanted the shutdown to last longer, so they said, well, fund the SNAP, use $6 billion, and Trump said, we're not doing it. He basically forced them to come and negotiate, and I don't even think it was a negotiation, honestly. What's your Discord? We got to get somebody. I think Pepe. Do you have the link to the Discord? Somebody puts it sometimes, but I'd have to get the link through logging back in. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't think I'm logged in on this computer. Maybe I am, but I don't really use Discord on desktop. Is your cat for sale? The cat's not for sale. The cat is an elder statesman anyways. The cat's not for sale. I cleaned out my closet. You should see it. Well, it's weird to have like 2 different closets, but the one closet was just, oh my, it took me like 2 hours. I got to clean all this stuff out, and I cleaned so much, and my hands got really dry from just dust. Let me pin that. That's nice. All right, it's pinned. The Discord link got pinned. Would you prefer to watch football on fake grass indoors or outdoors on real grass? Oh yeah, of course. But you know how that is with the. I know what you're talking about, the Rose Bowl thing. I did a video on it. Yeah, but they think they could make more money with SoFi as their host. Check out Black Panther Party, pure violent Marxist movement, a movement to ruin the country. How about a treasure trove of that? How about a video diving into the history of the '60s civil rights movement? That'd be an interesting one. Yeah, Pepe, honestly, if he does do that, I'm going to have to do something. I'll have to make a video or something. And this is somebody that supposedly has like millions of followers or something. And this dude's obsessed with me and maybe other people, I don't know. But this is a weirdo. I mean, if this is true what people are telling me, this is a full-fledged weirdo. But I don't know if it's true. You ventured onto Reddit today because they were crying. Yeah, anytime that they appease Trump on anything or they make some type of deal, they're gonna fucking scream and say, "Oh, how dare!" And they always blame Schumer, and Schumer didn't even vote for it, but they blame him anyways. He is just terror petrified of the Democratic mob, Schumer. Like he has to try and explain himself over everything, and he's so unliked. They want younger people anyways. They don't want Schumer. They want younger. A lot of these people on Reddit, they want further left people. They don't want establishment Dems. Yeah, well, I'm doing a video on the history of U.S. immigration policy, and that's the immigration policy even before the independence of the 1776, even before then, like the 1600s through present day, and maybe that comes out tomorrow. It possibly will. We'll have to see. Can you swipe on Tinder with us on stream? I don't have a Tinder account. When I was when I used to have Tinder, I thought about doing that. I think it would be very bad for me. I think it'd make me look like an asshole if I did that, honestly. Just from comments that I would make, I don't think that's a good idea. Schumer's post was so disliked by people on both sides. Well, yeah, now he's obviously disliked by Republicans just anyways. And now he's disliked by Democrats, especially the younger Democrats, which is very bad for him because they're the most that are terminally online. I think there's a setting on your end where you can have everyone's YouTube name in the chat go back to their real name like it was in the past. Community moderation, participants, moderation activity, timestamps, send feedback. Yeah, there might be, but if it is, I'm going to have to do it for next stream. But if I can change that, I will change it back. Yeah, it makes sense that they would have something like that. I don't know why they changed it in the first place, but if I can change it back, I'll change it back. But I think I probably have to go into the actual settings of the client, like the settings of the live stream, or even my channel settings and go to like changing it through that maybe. Some lives you've been on are still like the old way. Yeah, you could probably change it back then.
Well, I watched Obama from when this thing came about. As you know, I opposed it very strongly. Unfortunately, we had a couple of negative votes, which should never have happened. But I said it's going to be a disaster, and I was exactly right. The premiums have gone up like rocket ships, and I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about for years they've been going up. And he said premiums will go down. Everything will be wonderful. It's horrible health insurance at a very high price. And what I want, and probably what you're alluding to, is the fact that I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. They're going to feel like entrepreneurs. They're actually able to go out and negotiate their own health insurance. And they can use it only for that reason. That's the beauty, only for that purpose. And if we did that, that would be so exciting. Call it Trump care, call it whatever you want to call it, but anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
Yeah, and he doesn't really want Obama's name to be attached to that, to anything. Did you see that Zoomer historian got banned? I think it's a big issue, man. I really do. See, that's like old YouTube. That really is old YouTube. You know, and Zoomer historian said that all of his videos had full they had full ads, so it's not like any of them were limited ads. And it doesn't surprise me that his channel was fully monetized still, because of the way the monetization, like automation, works. You know, he was doing like historical videos that included like revisionist history, if you will, and I think some of them are like, okay, but you know, the thing is, for YouTube to nuke a channel that has like 300K subscribers without any strikes, that's disturbing. That should not happen. And you know, I think that's what happened to him. And I think he's trying to go on Rumble. He needs to get some type of partnership with Rumble. You're not going to be able to generate revenue on Rumble. When people go to Rumble full time, they do so with some type of contract from Rumble, or Rumble gives them like the verification badge or whatever. And because Rumble even gave me a verification badge because they emailed me like 2 years ago to set up a Rumble account. But Rumble, you're not going to make money. It's just the way the discovery works on Rumble is really bad. And I think it still is really bad. So he said he's going to go to Rumble, I think. I don't know how well that's going to do for him. The only people that do well on Rumble are people that have contracts. They basically get the payments per month from Rumble, separate of like channel revenue. Only guy that gets traffic on Rumble is Fuentes. He probably is the only one that gets organic traffic, but it doesn't have anything to do with the person. Like if you upload historical videos, those are videos they're evergreen videos, so they're going to accumulate views over time. That's not how it works on Rumble. Rumble doesn't have like a discover feature like that for whatever reason. At least I haven't found. I mean, maybe they changed it, but like it's so different from YouTube. That's what I'll say. That's why people that go to Rumble, they already have contracts with Rumble. Have you thought about going on Rumble also? I do have a Rumble channel. I don't post. I have like maybe 3,000, maybe 2,500 followers. What is it? I think it's called followers on Rumble. But I've only posted once in the last 6 months. I could just copy post, but the thing is, you know, they boosted a lot of my content because I joined and because they offered it. And so they boosted it. I don't know if they boosted it in their algorithm or what. But the other problem is like you'll get like 50K views, but only like 200 likes. And it's like, okay, so what is this? But to watch Rumble, I mean, I don't watch Rumble, honestly, because number one, they do have ridiculous ads. And I think you can get something like the YouTube Premium, but with Rumble, it's a little bit different because, I mean, they have like 4 ads or something before you can watch a video. And just the interface of it and things like that, it's... Yeah, I don't think there really is a great alternative to YouTube, but it's kind of set up that way because just the amount of stored video that YouTube has is so insane for even to be able to run a platform. I mean, it costs so much money just to keep YouTube up and running and for people to stream and things like. I mean, you have to have such a wide net in terms of like revenue to even be able to run YouTubers have a platform like that. Otherwise, your platform's going to be shit. Because, like, the cost of being able to store this amount of data, I think, is so insane for a website. And they can do it because, you know, they were bought by Google and the way it's been developed. But it's hard to really even come close to competing with that. Because it's just the way it's intertwined with everything. YouTube must have to add a ridiculous amount of storage every week. Yeah, I'm sure now it's a lot easier because technology has advanced, but it still is insane. The amount of total hours that get uploaded to YouTube every hour is just ridiculous. Do you think the Democrats will be successful by getting Puerto Rico to become a state? That's like the same thing as like eliminating the filibuster. They say they're always going to do it, but it never happens. So I don't think that's really going to happen if I had to. I mean, unless it was like a very liberal Congress, and I don't see it happening. Also, Puerto Rico really doesn't want to become a state anyways. They like being a territory, they get benefits from it, but they also don't want to be independent. Democrats want to add them because they just want the senators and the liberal electoral votes and the governor. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that would be very bad for Republicans. Does Zoomer Historians Ben make you feel concerned about using YouTube? No, I think what it should be is you should not like there should be a process. You can't just wipe someone out just out of nowhere with 0 strikes. I think that, especially somebody that has a certain amount of following, I think that's insane to do that. There should have to be some type of process to where a channel is restricted or something, and you have to review it, or because the way they do it is just so absurd. You can't just nuke a channel out of nowhere with no strikes. I mean, that seems ridiculous, but
Well, the country loses a lot of money when they do this, and they're not getting much, but nobody gets a lot. But it's terrible. What they really wanted was $1.5 trillion for people that came in illegally, people that came in through and out of prisons. You know, we had like Venezuela, they emptied, they dumped their prisons.
They said that was all exaggerated by you.
Yeah, I know it's exaggerated. They wanted $1.5 trillion for health care from people that were, in some cases, 11,888 exactly murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. So they came into our country, they poured into our country, and they want to take care, and we're trying to get them out because we don't want 11,000 murderers in our country. You don't want it. Nobody wants it. And we have drug dealers and we have everything else that they want to make sure they get good health care. That's not what our country's about. And it would have hurt other people's health care.
What's with Mark Levin? Mark Levin is a dying breed when it comes to this right-wing Israel support, Zionist movement. It's like a square peg round hole, especially online with how many young guys there are, and just they're not going to support it. They're just not. Look at that background. It's a nice fake background. James Carville is advertising Democrats for Puerto Rico to become a state. Yeah, he's a clown. He that's an old kook, honestly, that dude. I don't think anyone takes that guy seriously. Remember, he said Kamala was going to win, and then the next day after she loses, he's like raging and saying, I told you, everyone, I told you she was going to lose. And so it's like just the constant revisionism with him, and he's a wacko. Yeah, Trump getting booed at the Commanders game is not as surprising. I mean, it's at games in Maryland. It's a liberal state. Need that background for your stream thumbnail. That's actually a nice background. I don't think it really suits me though, because it gives off the representation that I live in Florida, does it not? With those palm trees. But I've thought about it. I mean, I changed the background on the streams because I had to switch it up. But maybe I should try and find a more epic background. Maybe that would help. You're an alcoholic? Well, I can't help you because I never had experience with that. Would you live in Florida? Dude, I was getting gas today. It was fucking freezing. I was like, I actually wish I was in a warmer climate right now. But no, I like sleeping in the cold or when it's cold out and you get a bunch of blankets and stuff. I mean, yeah, the warmer climates can be nice. There's no doubt about it. But I couldn't really do it. I mean, I'd like to, vacationing in Florida would be fine and stuff like that. I'm living there. I've always been more of a hardened person with the snow and wanting the snow and wanting the seasons and the different climates and stuff like that. YouTube canceled your channel, you mean deleted it? Would you get on Snap? I don't think I'd be eligible. I wouldn't be eligible for that. They're gonna reopen it, but it's just a question of how long, when is it gonna happen? Thursday or Friday, I think. That's what I saw.
Breaking news out of the Southern District of Florida.
50-year mortgages. It's not an answer. The 50-year mortgage, people and young people are gonna go crazy. They hear that. Even 30-year mortgages, people hate with the interest payments. It's they're trying to solve something really quick. Solving the housing issue with young people, it's probably at least half decade to a full decade of the way you solve it is it takes time to solve something like that. They're trying some type of quick fix so they get 50-year mortgages now, which I don't know if Trump's going to do. It went over very bad. You feel like only 20% of kids under 18 will get married one day. They are getting fed propaganda. Well, less and less people are getting married in general for various reasons. Feminism, lack of religion. Wasting time on YouTube, move to a diverse city, chase women. Chase women? That seems like a waste of time, honestly, man. No, I think having a wife is important, but 30-year mortgage, first 15 pay off 10% of your mortgage principal, yeah. Yeah, the mortgage situation is fucked. $600K more interest for $600 less in payments. It's a bargain. Efficiency coin. I saw that. I was like, what is that? Dude, but that'll happen. That coin got fucked. I didn't think that coin was going to go that low. What was it? Like 2 million? Like, dude, that's the thing that you got to think with these meme coins. How low? There's no floor. There's like no floor to these coins. And then it's up like 120% in a day. So it did a 2x. You're doing an amazing job. I appreciate that. Thoughts on the Amish? You think we need to take over? You think they need to take over? We can learn from them? Well, I mean, it's certainly a different lifestyle. I mean, it's unique. There's no question. And I'm sure they do. They're all in very good shape. And, there's a discipline level that they have that normal Americans don't have, obviously. Doge on Ethereum still better than Department. Will it work? I don't know what that is. Doge on you mean the Department of Government Efficiency coin on Ethereum? That's the only one I know. There's probably one on Solana too, but it's a shame Polk couldn't go further with his annexations of Mexico. Would have been nice to have the Californian Peninsula. Yeah, Baja California would have been interesting. So what's the cutoff on the 2K tariff check? I don't know. Does anyone know? Did they say anything today about that? I was heard it was 100K. If you made over 100K, you're not going to get it. But maybe it's like 100. Maybe it's 400K. They said middle class individuals. Well, what is the middle class like under 200K? It depends where you live. Because money goes further in certain cities. Do you know any Amish in Ohio? You live next to a community and they pay outside. Yeah, there's definitely Amish communities in Ohio. There's a lot of rural areas in Ohio. Like in between Cleveland and Cincy, there's a lot of rural areas. Southern Ohio, there's a lot of rural areas. It doesn't take long. Even from where I'm at, you drive 20 minutes, you're in a rural area. You might even be able to drive like 15 minutes, you'd be in a rural area. It depends. But Crypto's been doing well recently. More inflation. Yeah, I do wonder. That's why I was saying I don't know if it's worth the inflation risk. I don't think it's the same as the stimulus checks we saw in 21, but 2021. 100K not a high income anymore. I mean, it depends what city you live in. Depends what state you live in. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a high income, but it's not a low income depending on, in some places, I guess it's a low income if you're in a big city, but I don't think I'd qualify that as a low income, but it's subjective. What do you think the ideal USA looks like? Greenland, Canada, more parts of Mexico. Well, I would not want all of Canada. I would want the territories, the 3 territories with minimal population in Greenland, and I think that's it. I wouldn't even want more territory in Mexico because it's like you got to bring those people in. I think as part of your population, we want to minimize the amount of people. If you minimize the amount of people, you take the territories. I mean, these are all sparsely populated areas because the climate is so bad. Greenland is sparsely populated. We could connect really almost Alaska to Greenland. I mean, it's, there's waterways in between, but with those 3 territories, I think it would be those 3 territories and Greenland only. And then maybe like some British overseas territories that they have that we could get in off the coast of South America, maybe. You're taking your stimulus and dumping it into Fartcoin. Honestly, Fartcoin is down right now. You're smart. You want Alberta? Yeah, but I don't know how I don't know how you get Alberta. It's like if you take Alberta, I think the other Canadian provinces would come. Like just Alberta seems to me like maybe as a territory I would take Alberta. I know they've got a ton of natural resources. No, there's actually a treaty you cannot claim Antarctica. I mean, I guess you could void the treaty, but they passed the treaty because countries kept trying. There's like 8 different zones of Antarctica, and 7 of the zones have been claimed by countries, and the 8th, I think, or the 8th area plot of land is independent. But I don't think really anyone owns the territory of Antarctica because they made a treaty that says you can't actually own. Because countries just they all claim different territory in Antarctica. The weather is freezing, man. It was cold today. Well, it's unseasonably cold because of this this jet stream and the dip in the jet stream. We're getting Canadian air. What about if we were able to take these territories, not today, but let's say 150, 200? Yeah, it'd be easier to take them 200 years ago, obviously, in the sense of territorial conquest was a lot more prevalent. Wind chill. Yeah, no, it was pretty windy as well. The wind chill does make it really cold. 91 degrees in California. Snowed all day. Yeah, it snowed a lot here too. It's nice because the natural light you get in this room with the snow on the ground is really something. It's very bright. IRS and federal taxes brackets don't have formal higher income label. Yeah, but that's 609K. Imagine that. We'd all get them then if it's 609K, unless somebody makes that much money. But I have a feeling it's going to be lower than that. Do you think we need a Christian revival? We need to unify our country under religion. Well, I think it wouldn't hurt to have a more Christian America. Of course, of course, you want there to be a standard. You want there to be a fear of something, a fear of going to hell, a push to do the right thing because of higher power. So I think that's good for a society. Sometimes it gets intertwined with governance, and then there has to be a separation. But, yeah, I think demographics are a major part of it when it comes to like Christians and stuff. I mean, if you're importing Muslims, obviously they're not going to be Christian. Now, I will also say there are a lot of people that are agnostic or atheist. You see that a lot of younger people in general, regardless of race. Supplements, dude, I have like 30 supplements. I don't take really any of them. That's what I was like. I was looking through all the supplements I have because I've just accumulated them over the years. I've accumulated and I put them all in a box, or I put a lot of them in a box. Just how many supplements have I accumulated? And maybe I'll start taking more of them. Courts ruled against gay marriage. I know liberals are actually secretly pissed about that because they thought it was going to be another Roe v. Wade. You remember Roe v. Wade when Republicans celebrated and then they lost the midterms because of it? Yeah, they probably wanted that reversed and made it like a state issue, and it didn't happen. Europe is lucky they get the jet stream, so they have the perfect temperature. They have less ebbs. Europe has less ebbs in terms of temperature. It still gets cold in a lot of those European countries, but you're right. It's a lot more grounded. But I mean, you look at the UK is it's very cloudy compared to the United States. They are they don't get many sun hours. The UK and Ireland are very cloudy climates, but they're also their lows are like in the 40s. In the winter. Are pets just psyop for young white people not to have kids? Well, I think it's a replacement, if anything, because people still want companionship and they want to look after something, and so they replace it with a pet. But I mean, to me, there's other aspects at play, like the lack of religion, why people aren't having children, the lack of marriage, the cost. I mean, the cost is a big one. You could say it's a cop-out, but it is a big one. I mean, it costs a lot of money to have kids. Your issue with Nick Fuentes is he's Catholic. Catholics were an issue for the founding of the United States. Yeah, no, I hear you on that, and especially the type of Catholicism that he wants. I mean, he wants nationalized Catholicism where everyone's Catholic, and so that's where it becomes an issue. But you're right. I mean, then they do the revisionist history and say, they try and talk about the founding. The founding was Protestant. You have to take vitamin D every day, or you get low energy like Jeb Bush. I do take vitamin D. I take it's like a multi thing. It's like vitamin D and then something like B3 or something. I'm not sure. I'm actually taking I don't know what this is, but I put something in my water. It's like some type of electrolyte. You take electrolyte drinks or something like that. That's what I've been drinking a lot of. The winter was bad on the Eastern Front. The winter was horrible, the Eastern Front, and it was even worse than the expectation. We'll see if we can find that clip.
You mentioned the senators that are here, Mr. President. Do you personally approve?
Where's Erica?
She's right swearing in right now.
I just saw your name.
Oh, man. Liquid IV. Yeah, no, that is what it is. I actually got an IV drip when I was just having this brain fog. I don't think it really did anything, but when you get an IV drip, they like put it into your vein and you can taste the IV. And they said that. They said you're going to taste it. I've gotten a few of them. It's like what rich people get. They always get IV drips to try and like combat hangovers. Do you have any more World War II video ideas planned? Yeah, I have a few. I mean, I could make a lot of stuff on World War II. We'll see. People will say she's dating Trump. Probably. Probably after that. What does an IV drip even taste like? It tastes like whatever they have different flavors, like peach or whatever, or strawberry, and you can taste it. It's very strange. It's like in your bloodstream or something. Thoughts on Brian Johnson using his? Yeah, the problem with Brian Johnson is he looks sick. That's the issue. Now listen, Brian Johnson is an interesting individual. If you don't know, it's the health guy, the guy that it wants to look like he's 30. The problem is he looks sick. He's pale. He looks like his hair looks really weak. If he looked like legitimately 30 as like a 50-year-old, I'd be like, all right, that's impressive. I give him credit. Yeah, he's a millionaire. This is all he wants to do. He's committed his life to it. What surgeries do you recommend not taking ever? What do you mean by that? Yeah, not this again. Not this again, man. Oh man. Leg lengthening. Hydration IV drip is legit. It was like a salty taste in your mouth. Major alcoholics use it. Yeah, I know. It's like they always, whenever they drink, people do the hydration IVs. I didn't really feel it different. I don't think I was the proper test subject though, because I don't think I really was dehydrated. You're pale. No, it's not even close to the same. If you put me and Brian Johnson with the same lighting, I would look. And it's not even bragging. The guy obviously has like the whatever he does for his skin. It looks sick. He looks sick. He looks like a sick person. If you put me and him in the same room with the same lighting, you'd see a major difference between the way the two of us look. Just in terms of skin complexion. I mean, and that's the thing. If he was actually like, if he looked younger, I mean, I'd be like, all right, that's cool, I guess. He just looks weird. You look like a mixture of English and Irish. Yeah, it's gonna come back English Irish heavily, I'm sure. Veterans Day.
Some Democrats in your own caucus are suggesting Schumer is ineffective as Senate Democratic leader and should be replaced. You, of course, are critical of this deal. Do you view him as effective, and should he keep the job?
I don't even know what that question was. I couldn't hear anything. Nevada voter registration. independent or unread. I guess, is that independent? Other Republicans beating Dems by around 900 in voter registration in Nevada. Whether or not that matters, we'll see. Olympics set to ban transgender athletes. Remember that big controversy in the last Olympics with the male boxer? And they tried to say, no, it's a female. They tried to lie about that. Or there was something, it was like an intrasex thing, I think, is what it was.
Night, he wins this big victory. He is a Marxist. He also obviously is an Islamist as well, which is increasingly becoming hat in hand around the world. And then a couple days later, down in Florida, we've established November 7th as a day to remember the victims of communism. That's the anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution. And so I have people who have fled communism. And they say, you know what? Those promises remind me of what Castro was selling back in the day. I remember these guys trying to say that. And then what happened to this great island? It became a communist prison. And so we're working hard in Florida to educate our kids about the evils of Marxism and Leninism. And yes, there's less freedom, less opportunity. Mark, there's 100 million dead in the 20th century as a result of Marxism, Leninism. We know his program.
Don't be surprised if DNA test tells you you're 1% sub-Saharan African out of Africa there. I think they stopped doing that. I haven't seen that as much with people. You're right, that used to always be like 1%. But I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know, maybe they do. Yeah, the other thing with DeSantis that's interesting, if he wouldn't have ran in 24, I mean, he'd have a lot more luster for 28. I don't know if he'd be Trump's VP. I mean, imagine that. Because DeSantis was really the up-and-coming Republican. It's like what Newsom is now is what DeSantis was in, like, 2023. Are you hating on the Jews like Ben now, too? Ben was talking about NYC when he spoke about people maybe they shouldn't live where the most expensive cities in the world are if you can't afford that. Yeah, but I don't even think that's really what's going on in New York City anyways, and that's not even the problem. The problem really is like housing in any just normal suburban, like starter homes are too expensive. It's not even an NYC thing. I mean, maybe he was talking about NYC in specific, but what he was saying doesn't really solve a problem. It's just like, it tells you to move to a different area. I mean, the problem is in a lot of just very nice suburban places. I mean, I guess if he's talking about New York City, yeah, that's an extreme example to where it's, but also people if they have to work in New York City, I mean, there's a lot of jobs there. You really can't, I guess you could have like a really long commute if you lived somewhere else, but. DeSantis rocks. Who doesn't like him? That's fake news. Well, DeSantis went right up against Trump, and it became a problem for him. Obviously, going up against MAGA. With the amount of residents leaving New York City, in 2030, New York could lose more congressional districts. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how many people actually leave. Would you have rebuilt the Twin Towers if you had the option? They'd have to be glass. Rebuilding them the same way, I don't think they would look good until the 2020s, the architecture of them. But if they rebuilt them as glass, I think they'd look pretty nice. Six minutes of this? I mean, come on. and just criticize Chuck Schumer. Why do people hate on Jews and not the Jewish state? Well, it's mainly because, you know, Jewish people tend to have an allegiance to Israel. And so when they get political power, it becomes a big issue. Or if they have political influence, it becomes a problem in the United States because there's an allegiance to another country that, even if it doesn't usurp the allegiance to the United States, it's like dual loyalty. It becomes an issue. Yeah, The View, 6 minutes of The View, this is just not going to happen. Apparently, DeSantis was offered a book deal and cash to run in 2024. It's a shame. DeSantis is actually a really smart dude, good debater. You'd put money on DeSantis over Vance in a debate. I don't know. I mean, the debate stuff is subjective. I know a lot of people said he didn't do very well against Newsom in that debate like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but yeah, I mean, he was definitely an up-and-coming politician. He was like the young guy in the Republican Party, and then went up against MAGA, and that kind of derailed him.
Demonstration.
All right. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Really put him on the spot.
Really put me on the
Sorry.
If I had dropped it, man, what a dipshit I would look like here.
What does he have, a robotic arm, a robotic hand?
Yeah. Somebody call the Secret Service.
Yeah.
This guy.
Can Pitt realistically win against Notre Dame? I don't think so. I mean, they have a chance. They have a chance. They're at home. I mean, we'll see. But I think Notre Dame's a really good team this year.
How many deployments have you been on? Man. It's a lot. Of course, but it's a lot. We're very grateful for it. So, what do you need from us? What can we do to help in Washington?
Well, I think like getting this treatment down to everybody else and making it available to them so they're not going down to Mexico to do ayahuasca or Ibogaine, or like going out in town and doing ketamine on their own. They're risking their freedom, they're risking their career.
Sure.
You don't get to hate with Ben, too. He has roughly 2,800 videos helping the Republican movement since 2015. About 15% of his content is about Israel, if at all. It's the dual loyalty with Israel, and, you know, you can tell with, and Shapiro says it, you know, the loyalty he has to Israel. So, and also the other thing is when you build like a media company, that's like a power move. You know, you want to get power within a party, having a media company like that. It's like a trying to control the message type thing when you have a like the Daily Wire. Did you see UMass Lowell was down 40-2? Yeah, I saw that. You get that sometimes in these early season games, man. It's crazy scores. I mean, the spreads are like 35-point spreads, but yeah, 40-2 is like ridiculous. So what if he has religious belief in that country? Well, then there's also a push to support that country. He thinks the United States should support it, and it's like we're obligated to support it financially, and that's a huge issue with the Middle East because a lot of those Middle Eastern countries don't like Israel. So then if we support Israel, those countries are not going to like us, and then that's when you get the terrorist events, things like that, and that's when you get meddling in the Middle East and Middle Eastern wars and. terms of electoral politics, how different would California have been if Reagan didn't amnesty 2 million in that state? Well, it's hard to say because it's like the 65 Immigration Act is really what caused all of it. So I'm not sure it really would have changed a ton. I mean, the immigration was coming with or without 2 million people being amnestied. I mean, obviously it accelerated it. If anything, it accelerated it and made it more pronounced and made it more drastic. But it wasn't even the Reagan amnesties that did it in that did it in. It was the removal of the quota system in 65. Yeah, Ben Shapiro was a never Trumper. Him being a never Trumper doesn't surprise me. And then you kind of have to get on the bandwagon at a certain point. So Senate overwhelmingly slaps down Rand Paul's amendment in the government package 76 to 24. No, I don't think Miami is going to make the playoff. I mean, even if Miami finishes 10-2, I think it's going to be hard for them to make it. Look at where they're ranking right now. They're ranked outside the top 15. The Refugee Act there's another one, the Refugee Act of 1980, yes. What happened to all the liberals owned with facts and logic? I don't think I ever did videos like that, man. That's never been my style to do videos like that. No, an ACC team has to make it because there's an auto bid for whoever wins the conference. Do you think Los Angeles Rams quarterback will win the MVP his 17th year? Matt Stafford? I don't know. I think the MVP is wide open. I don't think Stafford's going to win it, though. You're a UF alum, and Kevin made some comments today in a presser that makes Florida fans confident he's going to leave. You think he's going to leave Ole Miss for Florida? Yeah, I mean, maybe. It's I don't know if it's that great of a job. I mean, I guess if he gets paid way more. Are they announcing the MVP tomorrow for baseball? It's about time. Maybe they announce the Cy Young tonight, MVP tomorrow. It's about time. No, I don't think I think Aaron Judge is going to win. But I don't know what the odds are. I think the odds were minus 360 for Judge. You thought it was Thursday? Maybe it is Thursday. Ole Miss was terrible in the second half against the Citadel. They didn't cover. What did they win? 49-7. I don't know. They were like 50-point favorites. I was surprised that they were that high. I thought it would have been a little bit lower. We need a zero-seat movement for Republicans in the House. They are traitors who must be... Well, then you'll get a bunch of Democrats. Unless you're talking about, like, primarying them out. But that's not going to happen.
A 34-year-old woman is demanding her ex-boyfriend pay compensation, claiming he stole her childbearing years. After nearly a decade together, she says her 38-year-old ex ended things just as she was ready to start a family. She said she put her career and her goals on hold, believing they'd have kids, and now wants him to cover fertility treatments like egg freezing or IVF. Now, the story from the New York Post has gone viral, sparking a debate. Some call it justified. Others say It's absurd to blame an ex. Legal experts say her case wouldn't hold up in court, but it is raising some questions about love, timing, and who really pays the price when relationships end. So what do you think? Does she have a point? Let us know.
Yeah, but how does that even work? Did the ex cheat on her or something? I don't understand. I mean, if they just broke up, I don't see how there'd be any issue.
I like it. Hey, fuck the Jews! Fuck you, Dave.
Not cool.
Why you come in the camera, buddy? Why you come here?
Oh my gosh. That was awful.
Hey, fuck you, pussy! Fuck you!
Yeah, but how is it possible he got arrested? I for disturbing the peace? Is that what it is? And that is actually what he got arrested for. Disturbing the peace. Dude's name is almost mine. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Did he throw coins at him? Yeah, apparently he threw pennies down or something. I wonder if Portnoy is going to be pressing charges. Disorderly conduct. Do you think Texas gets blown out against Georgia? Feels like they are different. I think it'd be a close loss, but I mean, oh man, this is just weird.
Can you confirm that I just kissed your sneakers? This is
Like a lesbian couple.
saying she'll do the radio. I am. We're doing it. Future senator of the great state of Texas. I'm gonna miss Ted Cruz so much. He's so likable. Oh my.
They're like a lesbian couple from the looks of it.
Confirm that I just kissed your sneakers. This is
She kissed her sneakers. Oh man.
That Mustang is coming on you pretty fast. She just ran a red light.
She were up with you.
Yeah, that's a fast little car. She's right behind you now.
Did you say your name was Patrick? Yeah, that is my first name.
All right, just slow down. Let me do this.
Yeah, come down here. Flying road.
Okay.
You think Texas has a chance to make the? Yeah, they're gonna try. If they go 9-3, they think they have a good chance to make it because they'd have to beat either Georgia or Texas A&M. You know, and 3 losses, but it'll depend on what happens with the other conferences. I mean, it looks like the ACC is only going to get 1 in. Maybe the Big 12 only gets 1 in, and so it kind of becomes like a logjam in that scenario. If Fuentes, Tucker, Candace wing of the right to take over in 2028, Dems will win the election in a landslide. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're really going to take over. But, it seems, I mean, a lot of that to me is online stuff. I don't know how to quantify that in terms of actual, like, voters. So, I think it's a lot of young people, and young people tend to be more online. And so it's just hard to really know exactly if it's really shifting because people keep saying it's shifting. Thoughts on sports being a distraction to keep public dumb and occupied? Well, sports are just a function of capitalism. I mean, if you can run a multi-billion-dollar business based around a sporting event, you're going to do it. It's just a supply and demand. There's demand for entertainment. It's like, you know, the same thing you could say is about movies or hobbies. People have random hobbies. I mean, that's just a distraction. It's like anything can be deemed as a distraction. I mean, I guess, you know what, maybe maybe it's disingenuous because sports, it takes up that's a lot of people that are involved with that. But again, it's just like if there's a demand for something, there's going to be a league for it. Are you terminally online? I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you if you are or you're not. You'd have to. Depends how much time you spend online. Online bleeds into culture. Yeah, but I've seen it a lot where people will get big online and then a year later they kind of goes away. The hype dies down. Like, how do you maintain that level? I don't know. Do you think Ryan Day gets fired if they lose to Michigan? Yeah, I mean that they're not going to fire him because he won a national title, but their people would be pissed off. I mean, that would be really bad if he lost again to Michigan, but they're not going to fire him. If they would have lost last year, like if they didn't win the national title last year and he lost to Michigan, I think they would have fired him. That's the reason why Japan and Saudi Arabia are investing in major sporting events. Well, I've heard a lot about Saudi Arabia. I haven't heard a ton about Japan doing that. I know Saudi Arabia is trying to get involved in like all the major sports. You heard Ryan Day has a nipple ring. Well, if you look at like the shirt indent made it look like that or something. I remember that. Yeah, that was weird. It was strange. He does dye his beard, Ryan Day. That's just something that he does. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't just shave if it's a problem, but he likes having a beard, but he doesn't like the white hairs. Thoughts on Saudi Arabia ski resort? Yeah, actually, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that ski resort. I don't know if it ever got built. I saw renderings for it. Or hasn't the NFL played a game in Tokyo yet? Well, I think that's a huge issue with time. It would be a big problem. There's really, because look, MLB plays games in on that far eastern side of of the world, and the games are at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. The time is really bad. Like, you're not going to be able to play a game because of the way the time zones are in the U.S. compared to Japan. The U.S. populace wouldn't be able to watch the game. It would be at like I think 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something. Oh man, we got another Mark Levin clip. 6 minutes. Remember that new resort that was built in North Korea? Yeah, I do remember that. That was a funny video they played. That little advertisement video. NFL being played abroad is a disgrace to fans. Local fans. Yeah, I mean, I could live with like 1 or 2 games. When they start doing like 6 or 7, it's you're kind of taken for granted. The local fans at that point. Odds on actually, they probably have odds on here. What is it, like $2,000 stimulus or something? When will the government shutdown end? 12th through 15th. Supreme Court rule in favor of Trump's tariffs, 24% chance. And there must have been I guess that happened a little while ago. There must have been some bad news or something on that for that to go down like that. New country joining the Abraham Accords in 2025, 66% chance. Mamdani opens city-owned grocery store by June 30th. Top Spotify artist, Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift. Bad Bunny, the halftime show. I think it would be in like finance. I said Indiana should be ranked number 1. Ha, nice try. Did you see Jags announce they'll play in Orlando? They'll have 2 or 3 hour. They'll have 2 or 3 home games in Europe during the year of renovations. They'll play in Orlando. Oh, so they're playing at Camping World. I actually didn't see that. No, I guess I've been disconnected from that stadium news. They're playing at Camping World Stadium. You know, Camping World's getting a renovation. That might be happening next year. Maybe it's happening before. Do you bet on here? I don't bet on here, no. It doesn't really make sense for me to. I buy crypto coins and stuff. That's basically my betting. You ever done Adderall? No, I've never had Adderall. Well, the NFL wants the globalization of the NFL. That's why they're bringing in Bad Bunny. They want more eyeballs from other countries. It's basically it. It's a shame. Could Michigan make the Big Ten championship if they beat Ohio State? Yeah, they need USC to lose because Michigan doesn't have the tiebreaker against USC. If USC wins out, USC would go over Michigan even if Michigan beat Ohio State. Thoughts on India Poop Festival? Yeah, I mean, a bunch of Indian people got angry about that. And, I mean, it's... Obviously, it's very... I mean, that's these countries, they have really weird rituals and stuff. But obviously, India, there's been a lot of negativity with the hygiene stuff with them. I mean, they have horrible air quality. That's the biggest thing with India. They talk about all the trash and all the garbage. You know, they have well, it's not unbreathable, but they have very bad air quality. It's just horrific, and it's every day. NFL should play games at college venues. Yeah, I think the problem would be like the college accommodations. Like a lot of the stadiums are like bleacher seating. Like people don't like that in the NFL. They want like cheerbacks and stuff. So that could be an issue. Another thing is like, well, the field might get ripped up and stuff if you're playing that many. Well, I guess Pitt does it with Panthers and the Steelers. 2027 in Orlando for the Jags. Also, UGA UF game will be moved for 2 years. Where is it getting moved to? Mercedes-Benz? Dude, that's no. You know they should do a home and home for those 2 years. Who would be a good running mate if Newsom is the Democratic nominee? It's hard to say. I think maybe somebody on the come up in the Democratic Party. Maybe Westmore, maybe. I don't know, man. It's... Would the U.S. move the capital to New York City? Definitely not now. They're not going to move the capital to New York City. '26 is in Atlanta. 2027 is Tampa. So it's like neutral site, but that's so stupid, man. God, that's so stupid. Why would they not just do a home and home at that point? These teams, they should really start outlawing having games at fucking Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like, that should be an thing that they outlaw. They just outlaw teams from playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's like every neutral, or, you know, wait, Raymond James Stadium is where they're playing at as well, in Tampa. So Ohio State better this year? Do you believe they will win it back to back? No, I don't think Ohio State's better. They have a lot. The rushing game is a lot weaker, and them winning it back to back, they're gonna have to be hot at the end. You know, Ohio State lost to Michigan last year as 20-point favorites, and they won the national title. A lot of this is like on luck on if you peak at the right time. That's what a lot of the college football is. Newsome Whitmer or Newsome Moore. Yeah, but even as Whitmer, even that, I feel like Whitmer, maybe it's just because I've heard of her for so long. Like, does she even move the needle? I guess she's liked in Michigan, kind of. But a lot of those state representatives are liked. I don't really know. I mean, you're a UF alum, and the cocktail party in Jacksonville is truly special, though. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. That's fine, but I'm saying at least while they do construction, make it a home and home. You know, they can have the NutraSite game there if that's their tradition in Jacksonville. Watch this video, you'll get a kick out of it. Woman gets startled, life of a ginger. Is it just making fun of gingers? I'm going to pass on that, honestly. I'll pass on that. Why is RFK's wife with Bill Maher? Bill Maher is like 5'4", honestly, if I had to guess. How tall is Bill Maher? Who's the Heisman frontrunner? It doesn't matter. I think maybe Mendoza. Is Rose Bowl Stadium on UCLA? No, it's not. It's not on their campus. Popping in real quick to drop a like. Well, I appreciate that. That's a nice comment. Thank you for that. Shorter than Ben Shapiro. What is Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro says he's 5'9", I think. So he would be shorter than Ben Shapiro. Group of 5 pick for the playoff. I don't know, man. Why do you do this to me? No, I mean, Tulane, maybe. Do you think USC can beat Oregon? No, I think the game's in Eugene. If the game's in Oregon, I don't think they're going to beat them. Why can't UCLA build a stadium on their campus? Because I don't think they have the space for it. They'd have to knock down administrative buildings or something like that, probably. A guy you play Call of Duty with swears Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom. Yeah, I mean, that's a popular ticket. People talk about Newsom and Whitmer. I mean, it's possible. No, do you remember the clip of the guy was like, Ben Shapiro, you're really not 5'9". I'm actually 5'9". And Ben Shapiro said, well, why don't you come up and we'll see. And then they were about the same height. And so it's like Ben Shapiro owned the libs by having a heights battle with this guy who was like, I'm actually 5'9". Take on Mark Levin. Boomer politics. Time Person of the Year 2025. Yeah, this is so stupid. Artificial intelligence. It's not a person. Yeah, they do this sometimes where they make like an entity. Netanyahu. Zoran Mamdani. Trump's at 11%. Pope Leo. 17%. LeBron James. Why would LeBron be Time Person of the Year? Stock market is doing good today, but some retail stocks are still doing awful. People are still hesitant on spending money. Yeah, I think that's a thing that's happened. We're not really seeing a lot of spending. Whereas Elon, I think Elon already won. I mean, I know Trump already won it, but I think they wouldn't give it to Elon unless like if there's a major breakthrough. Elon will probably win it again at some point when there's a major breakthrough with like fucking Neuralink. Why does AI have the lead? Because they give it to entities and things like that sometimes. But AI, it's like I think AI probably should have won it when ChatGPT came out, which what would that have been 2023? But that's when they probably gave it to Zelensky, or I think they gave it to Zelensky in 2022. Yeah, the vote, it's really just like it's just the government will be reopened by Friday. It's a matter of them getting back the representatives getting back, I believe. When they all get back, it'll be reopened by Thursday or Friday. They needed the Senate votes to get past the filibuster. They already had the House votes. You were Time Person of the Year of 2006. I didn't know. Is Ole Miss a first round exit? They're gonna host a game, so I don't know. It depends who they face. But they're gonna be at home because they're probably gonna be like the 6th seed if I had to guess. How many times has Elon won it? I don't know. I think at least once, maybe twice. But I don't know the exact number. I know he's won it before. Is Indiana for real? Probably not. But I think Indiana can win a game in the playoff. But yeah, I mean Indiana's a solid team, man. I think they're better, certainly better than they were last year. Oof. Yeah, we should see it at the Big Ten Championship. Then they might play each other again in the playoffs. That's kind of how the playoffs are. Like Ohio State and Indiana could face each other twice in like a month's time. But they should be on the opposite. No, they should be on the opposite side of the brackets. Where's the Big Ten Championship game? Lucas Oil Stadium. Will anyone give Trump credit for the government reopening? Well, I mean, he gets credit in terms of it's open at least, so his approval will probably go back up. I'm Person of the Year, and the cover is my profile pic. Yeah, they'd have to use my profile pic. Oreos or Chips Ahoy. I don't know. Probably or Chips Ahoy, honestly. Depends the Oreo. Maybe double stuff Oreo. I think they only make double stuff now. The people didn't like the standard. It's just too much of the cookie, the outer shell. Lucas Oil Stadium, 45 minutes from Indiana's campus. Yeah, but that really doesn't matter. You know how they allocate tickets. Basically, it's going to be 50-50. They give like 50% of the tickets to Indiana people. They give 50% of the tickets to Ohio State people. So I don't really see it being this huge advantage for Indiana. I mean, maybe for their players if they have less travel, but the Big Ten Championship doesn't happen for or I guess it is that next week, yeah. You came here for boomer liberal slot videos. Well, those do tend to happen. Who's your pick for the title right now? Yours is Alabama. Yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant on Alabama just because of the run game. My title pick would probably be Ohio State. But I mean, they could certainly lose. You know, it's the playoff, and this time there's really not a single dominant team in college football. I mean, people try and say Ohio State, but they haven't really had a schedule that's all that challenging. Oh my goodness.
I think that this is something that will benefit American patients.
And you think this is the once-a-month shot that people really want?
I do think that this is the one-a-month shot that people want, and not only in GLP-1, but also in amylin, and even more important, the combination. And that's highly differentiated. I don't think the others, they have demonstrated something like that so far.
Would you think? What happens to the sale of drugs that treat the symptoms of obesity? Do they take a hit?
I don't know if they will take a hit or if they will be used
a monthly shot. Oh man, an Ozempic shot
in combination with this. But I think that the two will make a lot of these comorbidities go away.
And do you think, what's the timeline on that, do you think?
I think already we have a lot of studies on that. Our molecules probably will reach within 3 years the marketplace, and we are ready to compete. I think that this is something that will...
Yeah, they want to do a shot. You take the shot is once a month, but what does the shot do exactly? It destroys your ghrelin. Kash Patel and the FBI seized all surveillance footage. Well, that seems like standard procedure. Just diet and fast and do cardio and work out. Yeah, the thing is you can actually eat under 2,000 calories pretty easily. Just have like Chick-fil-A and then don't eat anything else. Just have like one meal of Chick-fil-A a day and then don't eat anything else. And normally I'm not even hungry if I do that. That's only like 1,400 calories or something. AOC needs the monthly shot. Yeah, they've been saying AOC really did gain some weight. She gained some weight. There's no doubt about that. Does Trump really want 50-year mortgages, or is it an idea? No, that was an idea by Scott Bessent. That was an idea by one of Trump's advisors, I think. You heard a guy talking about how he gets in and out once a day and doesn't anything else. Yeah, probably in and outs. Maybe like, I don't know. It depends. Burgers are actually not that bad for you, but you have to just eat it in moderation. Yeah, the 3 meals a day thing is what got people. Because if it is 3 meals a day, it can be hard to keep it below. Because 3 meals a day is, and then snacks on top of that. That's aggressive. That's pretty aggressive. Do you think Ohio State's defense is better than last year's? They don't have the same pass rush as last year's. Last year's was able to generate pressure better. This year, you could say maybe they're slightly better overall. I don't know. I mean, it's close. You switched to 2 meals a day. Yeah, I never really ate breakfast anyways. I mean, I don't mind breakfast. Like, breakfast food is good. But I just never ate it when I was younger, and so I haven't eaten it since. Can a healthy person eat fast food burgers daily? Well, it depends. Do you get exercise? What else do you eat? Yeah, because it's just a calories in, calories out. You could eat it as long as it's not like, as long as you're not eating 5 of them a day. Okay, if you're eating 5 a day, then yeah, you're not. There's no way you can be healthy. People don't understand. It's just a calories thing, man. Like you could be healthy, or you could be in good shape and eat McDonald's. It's just based on intake. Do you think Texas Tech has the best defense? It's hard to say if they have the best defense. They've got like a top 2 defense. It's them and Ohio State. Them and Ohio State are the 2 best defenses in college football. Now, whichever one you want to put first, I'd probably say Ohio State, then Texas Tech. But Texas Tech has an argument for number 1. Yeah, guys, I like the video, like the stream. Thoughts on Asmongold saying he's healthy eating McDonald's? I mean, he's not fat. He's not fat. I mean, he might not have a lot of muscle, but he obviously he doesn't eat a ton. So he has even if he eats McDonald's every day, he doesn't overindulge. See, it's an overindulgence problem. That's the issue. Favorite moment 2025 so far for you? I'd have to think about that. That would be on my channel or just in general? How unhealthy is daily milkshakes? Now, milkshakes are bad for you, man. They are, because the problem with milkshakes is, it doesn't really fill you up, and it's like a fucking 1,200 calories. You're gonna struggle with milkshakes if you have a lot of milkshakes. A burger is different because it's like it fills you up more. It has protein and stuff. The milkshakes is just like straight carbs, I think. Favorite thing on the channel? I don't know, maybe trying to think of the live streams. Probably something during the live streams when I had like more during the Iran-Israel stuff. Because I would be able to react to that right when stuff came out. Thoughts on Killdozer seed-only oils diet? The Killdozer had that diet? I don't know. Nikocado Avocado. Didn't he have a weight loss surgery? He had a weight loss surgery and said he tricked everyone. Remember his girlfriend or whatever, or his boyfriend? Dude, those were actually funny videos. I did like those videos. He'd always get mad at his boyfriend. And remember the fat girl? The big girl? I think she's still fat, I don't know. Who was the girl that always ate with him? You are a female, how do you date a man? Get in shape and just go on Hinge. You would love a fast 24 hours. Yeah, I don't think I'd do a 24 hours fast because I do get hungry and I prefer it's harder for me to make videos when I'm hungry. Like I have to eat by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but then I don't eat a lot after that. I have to eat by like 1 o'clock or even noon. But then I don't eat a lot at night, and they say it's good for your sleep if you don't eat much, and it makes sense. You don't want to be digesting food as you try and sleep, so I understand that. If you're a woman, you can just choose who you want IRL. Not really. So much easier for them on those apps. I mean, they probably have like 30 matches or 30 likes or whatever. It's easier to do it on the app than IRL for women for sure. Because IRL, you don't even know if like the guys are gonna be, you're gonna be attracted to them, or it's just easier. Do you like sweet potato fries? I don't normally eat them now. See the Indians claiming to date white women and lying about it. Yeah, I know that's like a constant thing. What is with like all this stuff with like, oh, you know, black men date white women, Indian men date white women? It's just not true. I think they're trying to like, you know, look at the numbers. White women are the least likely out of anyone between all the groups to date outside of their race. That's just the statistics. I don't know what these people are talking about. They try and like get under white guys' skin by constantly doing that. But it's like, if you know the numbers, it doesn't really matter. You maybe have an anecdotal case here or there of it, okay? Like, Ozempic slows down digestion. I think Ozempic it like suppresses hunger hormones, I believe. Take on BTC. BTC it's digital gold and it's wanted by everyone, and it has a supply that eventually will be limited. The supply is limited to 21 million. So, it's just digital gold. That's what I think of BTC. It's like a interesting different technology that it's like the human variant of like bringing gold to technology, some type of combination of that through like a blockchain ledger. If steroids are cheating, then why is Ozempic not? No, I think Ozempic in weight loss is cheating, but I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really knows. I mean, it's like, just because you're getting healthier, I don't think people are really going to. The steroid stuff, people are like, it's more of like, all right, you're on something, bro, because they look way better. But people on Ozempic are just trying to look like normal or more skinny. That's a funny comment. Antifa is rioting right now at Turning Point. Is there a Turning Point event happening right now? How can Portnoy date younger ladies? He's rich and has clout.
Steve Cefaro tipped $19.99 through Super Chat. This is for your great coverage leading up to 2024 election.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Yeah, what an election that was. What an election that was. What the fuck is that? Big brawl at Turning Point, and they just set off like a fucking smoke bomb. Violence at Turning Point events is becoming a trend. Yeah, it's like liberal adjutants, basically. Liberal adjutants. Majority of black guys don't even like Caucasian. Well, it doesn't matter either way. Doesn't matter either way. Why would Litecoin be trending? See, the thing is, this random stuff will just trend, and it doesn't even make sense.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. We have about 350,000 Chinese. One point during COVID, you were going to, push to, get them out, but that was pulled back. You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students.
Play the video of the Indian girl that calls white women mid and basic. That's just jealousy.
Could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but I...
Are mixed children genetically better or worse? Well, they tend to have issues fitting into groups. They don't really have a... And you'll see this a lot with mixed children. They say they don't really know themselves as individuals because they can't really fit in with anyone, so it's a problem in that sense. In terms of the genetic makeup, it's just, I don't know about that one.
We do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have, China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think that's a big deal.
Are they fans
You would have the
of the United States?
Yeah, but you would have, as you know, historically, black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You would have a system of colleges and universities.
So we're dependent on China to keep our university system going?
But I think it's good to have, I actually think it's good to have outside countries. Look, I want to be able to get along with the world.
They're not the French. They're the Chinese. They spy on us. They steal our intellectual property.
What, do you think the French are better?
Yeah.
I mean, really? I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm not so sure. We've had a lot of problems with the French, where we get taxed very unfairly on our technology, where, they put 25% taxes on American products. Look, assuming everyone treats us badly, because that's the way I am, but we take in trillions of dollars from students. The students pay more than double when they come in from most foreign countries. I want to see our school system thrive.
Yeah, but the Chinese government pays a lot of that. Doesn't the Chinese government pay the Chinese kids tuition to come here because they like having their network in the United States?
But at the same time, I know you and I disagree. We're never going to agree on it, but that's okay. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business. We have millions and millions of people. Also, I want to get along with countries if possible. People are shocked. Remember, Hillary Clinton said, we'll be in a war. I stopped 8 wars in the last 9 months. I don't want to be in wars. If I am in a war, we're going to win the thing fast, and it'll be violent. But you know what? I don't want to be in wars. But one thing, You don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country, destroy our entire university and college system. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose any.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else. And MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
No, we don't want that. We don't want, I don't know, he's saying 50% of students, or he's saying 50% of the foreigners are from China. I think that's what he's saying, but why would that destroy colleges? Well, they need the tuition money from the Chinese, I guess. You guys are obsessed with this account, like Joe Rogan podcast news. Bill Maher.
Again, one good thing about Trump.
This dude weighs 90 pounds, I swear.
He really, really does not like war.
Which I love that about him.
I kind of do, because I don't want war either, and most of them are unnecessary.
Agreed.
I mean, he took a long time when I had that dinner with him talking about the pictures he sees coming from Ukraine, the stuff that doesn't get out on the news. It's like raw footage of bodies in the field.
Yes.
And you could tell it really moved him. He's
does.
like, I do not want to see this, and I can...
War is good in
I'm
MLB.
the kind of guy who can fix this.
Yeah, war is the best thing.
You know, he's never not going to be Trump. So, of course, he's like, I solved 9 wars. And, you know, okay, even if it's half that, it's still good.
Look at the boats.
Solving them and not starting them.
That's the thing that I find that I really like about President Trump when he talks about wars and talks about Ukraine.
Rogan is the most normie thing. Yeah, I mean it's all of those podcasts. Rogan, Schultz, Fox News. When is the government reopening? I think Thursday or Friday, from what I heard.
People who just want to beat the dead horse of, I hate Trump more than you, and that makes me a better person. Great. Again, I have the thing with 56 insults, so I think I can come to this fight.
Did he read those?
No, I read some of them to them at the time.
I'm sure he laughed and also said,
"Oh, he did.
Don't say that." And would want
you know what he said?
Huh?
I read some of these because, you know, another thing, he does laugh.
I know.
He never laughs in public, but he does laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he was laughing when I was, you know, dopey, dummy, trouble, terrible student, not considered smart, no mojo, nervous, low-life dummy, so-called comedian, not a smart guy, better than Somonex, feel like a dog.
When did Rogan have Fuentes on? Yeah, I think Rogan had Nick Fuentes on, like, I remember that episode, I think, maybe a while ago.
We're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people of about $2,000, and we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. And the numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, you know, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. You know, we're going to issue a dividend to...
Yeah, I don't know if that dividend is going to go through. I think he's trying to push that because the Supreme Court ruling is not going to go in his favor. Nick Fuentes used to say he was trans and hated Trump. What happened? I don't think he ever said that, but he used to be a Trump supporter, and then he said, well, Trump's not right wing enough, so I can't support him. And then he said he was going to force Trump to lose, but then Trump won. Why does this dude post NFL clips? I mean, I understand the Trump clips, but take on Cenk Yogurt. He actually ran for the Democrats, and then they told him Cenk Uygur tried running for the honestly as in the primaries, in the Democratic primaries with Marianne Williamson and Joe Biden. I think it was like uncontested because Biden was the incumbent. But then they told him, the Democratic establishment told him, they're like, you were born in fucking Turkey or some other country. They said you can't run. You're ineligible. And he still tried running, and he got like 10 votes total throughout his campaign. I think he got like a total of 15 votes, and then he had to shut it down. Who did Nick Fuentes vote for? I think he voted for Cenk Uygur. Honestly, probably. If I had to guess.
At Alexis Gentip $5 through Super Chat. What's your honest thoughts on Fuentes? Is he overall good or a dumbass?
Yeah, well, it seems like there's a fracture within the Republican Party, and I mean, obviously, this is what I'll say. I think the national Catholicism and trying to make everyone Catholic, I'm not a fan of that, honestly, I have to say. And then I see stuff, and there's a lot of haters, and there's a lot of stuff with him that's but you understand, the idea of the intertwinement with Israel. It's a big issue. It is. And so he like owns that issue. Okay. But yeah, I don't know about the nationalized Catholicism and all that. That's strange to me, but no, I agree. I think Christianity's important, but I mean, the country was found Protestant. What's with the booze yesterday? Liberal state. Liberal city. Landover, Maryland. I don't know how liberal it is, but it's very liberal, I'm sure. Aren't you Irish? I've never heard of a pro-Protestant Irishman. Yeah, I mean it's different if you're not. I mean, I wasn't born in Ireland, so religion is a little bit different, and it depends. A lot of it depends on your parents. Like the level of Catholicism you are, like how Catholic you are, especially with your Irish, or just in general. A lot of it depends on your parents, your religious beliefs. What's your take on Elon? I like what Elon did with X. I think it's great. I mean, there are some problems with it, like with the bot accounts and stuff, but it's great to have people be able to not be banned. That's the thing. Like, you see these people getting banned on YouTube. It's a big issue, and with X, you don't have that problem, so it's good. You think Israel is the only Middle Eastern country with intelligence to prevent a nuclear conflict? What does that even mean, though, a nuclear conflict? How is there going to be a nuclear conflict? What, Iran has nukes, you think? I guess Pakistan does, but yeah, I don't really think that the intelligence is really worth being that intertwined with the Middle East. The only argument that I think that would be, it's like they try and use religion against you to where they say, well, we have to protect the historic sites. That's what Charlie Kirk would say. They have to protect the historic sites, and Israel will do a better job of that than like an Arab country. But this stuff with Israel and his intelligence, it doesn't really make sense. These are not countries that really threaten the United States in any way. I mean, thoughts on Billie Eilish asking, why are you a billionaire? Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, she doesn't understand, I guess. I mean, she's worth like $50 million or $100 million. There's going to be billionaires. Billionaires produce a lot of overall output, and they actually raise the overall standard of living for middle class people. There's a lot that goes into that, and I'm not even defending billionaires. It's just how it works in economics. But they look at a billionaire, they say, well, spread all that money out. Well, they can't. They literally can't, because then they wouldn't have the money to generate. There'd be no point in generating that level of money if you just have to give it to everyone else. It's just not how it works. Thoughts on 50-year mortgages? I mean, it's not smart. That was someone else. Trump was joking. I think Trump was joking, he said about that. And they're going to come up with something. Why are they building so many advanced cities in the Middle East? They're getting prepared for a one world government. Now it's because they have a bunch of fucking money from oil. Costs like $10. Fucking fracking costs $6.70. Are the 2K checks ever going to actually happen? I think the 2K checks might actually happen, yes. Just because of how it looks right now with those off-year elections and the domestic focus and the fact that Republicans realize they really need the midterms and the fact that these checks could come like 4 months, 5 months prior to the midterms. How do I defer my income so I can claim the $2,000 check? No, it's not what it's based off of. You can't defer your income like that, I don't think. You get a reported income, and I don't think you're going to be able to do that. I mean, I don't know what it is. They'd have to tell us the exact number. Like, what's the cutoff? Maybe it's 500K. Maybe it's 609K. If it's 100K, it's an issue, but then we're going to have a problem. But I mean, I think it's just for low-income people. Maybe it's under like 150K.
At Adam Wardless 3,849 tip $5 through Super Chat. Show us your World Trade Center model. I have a custom 3D printed one that stands 5 feet tall.
Wow. Ooh. Well, this is it right here. This is the North Tower. You can see with the antenna. So yeah, this I think is around 2,000 pieces total. And the South Tower is right next to it. I got him in the background. When will it arrive? It'll probably arrive when the taxes in April. When it's tax season, it's gonna arrive. I think they're gonna give people the check. Liberals would be mad about that. Yeah, they got the sky lobbies that are grayed out. Yeah, the floors that are grayed out or dark gray or the sky lobbies. How and when did you become first fascinated with 9/11? Well, I really became fascinated with 9/11 maybe back in 2018 or 2019, and then I started doing videos in 2023 on it, just as it's a morbid curiosity, and it really is like a lot of different things. It's not even just 9/11. It's a lot of events as a morbid curiosity. Youngkin gave Virginians $200 to $400. Yeah, but those Virginians are already liberal as it is, and they didn't run a good candidate. I don't even, you know. Why would liberals be mad at 2K checks? Yeah, they'd be mad because they say Trump's buying votes. Well, that's what they do. How much snow did you get? I don't know the exact. We might have gotten an inch, but none of it really accumulated because the ground is not hard and the ground's not cold enough. So we might have got like an inch though. Who would be qualified for the checks? People over 18 who don't work would be getting checks. Well, you know, there might be a qualification similar to the stimulus. I don't know. Once you graduate high school, snow sucks. Hey, yeah, remember that? The snow days. We used to always talk about snow days. I found an old iPhone. I found like 2 old iPhones I used to have. And I was looking at the old messages, and we were always talking about snow days. To try and have snow days. Looking at the weather. Do you ski? I used to ski. Yeah, I used to ski when I was younger. Ask about Elmo World. What are you even talking about? Yeah, I saw the Turning Point USA fight at Berkeley. They put off a smoke grenade. See a ski and Jim Day vlog. Honestly, skiing would be a good vlog, but I don't really have it. It does. It's like I gotta find somebody to do it. What are the odds the government doesn't open in the next few days? Like 5%. Why don't people consider Mike Pence charismatic? I don't know. That's lost on me. I think he's very charismatic. When's Piers Morgan gonna debate Alex Jones again? He's had him on a few times. I mean, it's kind of played out at this point. Mike Pence hinted that he was gonna run for president in 2028. Probably one of the more funny things I saw of today. He was like, "You'll have to see. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know about my plans, Mike. Save everyone some money. Imagine donating to Mike Pence's 2028 presidential campaign. Save everyone some money. Donate it to an evangelical church in Indiana or something. I mean, can you show the lady crying today on your tweet? Which one are you which tweet are you talking about? I don't think there's a tweet that the lady was crying on. I don't remember it. Imagine Mike Pence becomes a whale. A whale from my chat. He's like, I'm bringing the evangelical spirit to your channel. No, NFL stadium capacities are not going to get that. Oh, the Jennifer Welch. I think it's in a reply.
I've had it with white people that triple trumped. Yeah. That have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI and you want to browbeat gay people and you want to browbeat black people as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Kankles McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have fucking had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
All right, so this woman I saw was doing one of her live streams or whatever. She was doing her podcast. Think about this. This woman says, I live in like a 99% white area. So this woman says, we voted for Trump. You know, we don't want immigrants coming into the country. Why are you living in a white area? You're a liberal. She shouldn't be able to live in a 95% white area. You say we shouldn't eat Mexican food. You shouldn't live in a 95% white area. Why do you're the one that's voting for the immigrants to come in, but then you get to live in the 95% white area? And so this woman's just completely hypocritical, and she's just like boomer old slop. Yeah, this is like the fucking woman that's, if you don't know who this woman is, she's everywhere on the internet. It's like they got this other lady, like these two raisin ladies that are part of this show, and it's just like, phew. But she's like bragging like, I live in a white neighborhood. Lady, you're telling us you're voting for all the immigrants to come in and the demographics to change. Why don't you go live with what you vote for? I'm not doing the relationship stuff. Yeah, and she lives in like a 98% white neighborhood. That's why I said that. Boston City Hall. Who thought this was a good idea? They say this is great architecture. This is commie fucking brutalism. It looks disgusting. The left Joe Rogan? I thought they said Hassan Piker was the left Joe Rogan. That's a nasty looking stadium, man. That is a brutal stadium. She'll campaign to have them somewhere else. Yeah, no, 100%. Like that's the most ridiculous thing. She wants to say that, oh, we can't have any other food, and then she lives in she lives in a 95% white neighborhood. Really, is that not the definition of hypocrisy? Why don't they ask her about that? Why don't they ask her about, you're the one importing all these people. Go live with what you vote for, lady. But I guess she doesn't want to. It's just total hypocritical. I mean, this woman's like a far leftist who just wants probably like 5 million immigrants a year to try and swing the voting. Yeah, Jennifer Welch. She's popular on the internet. She's not popular in like fucking mainstream, obviously. Thoughts on Amon-Ra St. Brown getting punched for doing the Trump T? Did he seriously get punched? Amon-Ra St. Brown? I saw him do the celebration. What's your take on when Greenland is? I don't know when Greenland is. NBA is a bad product. It is slop. It's terrible. How come these sweet old ladies have insufferable takes? Well, it's the liberal witches. The liberal witches of the West. The liberal witches of Oklahoma. Czech UK party deputy leaders advocate for more migrants than... Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, she probably lives in a very safe area. It's just totally hypocritical. Why is the NBA such a bad product? Because they don't play defense, or they just all shoot threes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. It's been 2 hours, 14 minutes. You can join the Discord. The link is in the description. Oh, no, the link is pinned. The link is pinned. Join the Discord if you want. What do you think was in the envelopes at the George Bush? Yeah, I don't know what was in the envelopes. I'd have to remember I remember them being given to like all the presidents or whatever. All right, guys.